Story 1. I would tell my 16-year-old son to come home from golf so we could watch animated shows on the couch all day. Story 2. Find someone who will give my dog an amazing life. Give away my belongings and see a few people. Go and relax by the sea in the final hours, either alone with my dog or with a select few. Have I missed anything? Story 3. Sleep for 6 hours to speed things up. I hate life, my life, and everyone who had a hand in showing just how worthless I am. The worst people today live the best lives. So, 6 hours left alive? I am taking a few Tylenol PM tablets and helping the Reaper liberate me from misery. Story 4. I would pray to God and ask for forgiveness of my sins. I would say goodbye to my friends and family. I would pay all my debts and donate all my savings to charity. Story 5. I am eating everything. Then I would call or hug the people I love. I would watch the sunset somewhere quiet, maybe with music playing in the background. Story 6. Find a way to make it look like an accident at a major retailer store so my children could get the money for it. Story 7. The angel on my shoulder would tell me to spend time with my family, but the devil on my shoulder would tell me to get high and be intimate with my husband for the next 6 hours. Story 8. In addition to saying my goodbyes, I am mostly doing administrative work, such as shutting down accounts, handing over passwords, and transferring ownership of group chats and servers where I am the administrator. Story 9. Cocaine and prostitutes. I always wanted to say that. No, I would probably meet with my children and try to convince them not to be selfish. Story 10. Honestly, I probably doom scroll for 5.5 hours in an attempt to stop my anxiety-riddled brain from thinking about it. Story 11. I would freeze myself for 100 years. If time manipulation exists, I would extend my lifespan. If not, I would preach to the people, find a group to influence, create a religion based on myself, and live forever. Story 12. I would connect with the world by sending those 1990s era chain texts that say you will die in a certain amount of time if you do not forward the message to a specified number of people. Then, I would pass away publicly with easy access to my phone to show that I did not complete the chain. Story 13. Make sure to spend my final hours with the people I love and pray for a miracle because honestly I am not afraid of dying, but I am just so happy to be alive that I would not want to let go of it. I have many blessings to be grateful for. Story 14. I do not support or encourage illegal drug use. If you need help or support, please reach out to a trusted professional or organization. Story 15. Use whatever money I had left to ensure that whoever I gave my cats to would have supplies for them. Make peace with my family or at least try. Story 16. Determine who I could bring with me so that the most people would benefit, allowing me to go out as a hero. Story 17. Find someone loving to take care of my cat, and tell my cat I love her very much, and I will be with her until she comes to heaven to join me. Story 18. Eat super fancy, get drunk, and try everything that could potentially kill me. Drugs, sex with beautiful strangers, drive as fast as my car can go, and in the last few minutes, make a very deep scuba dive in the tropics. Story 19. Have one last meal with my girlfriend, father, and friends. Tell them I have 6 hours to live and have a living funeral. Story 20. Watch Infinity War and Avengers. Endgame with my family, order pizza and Chinese food, and have DoorDash deliver ice cream and root beer for floats. Story 21. Unless you are in prison, very little causes pain because if you are lucky, you would have been on a morphine drip for the last week. Dying is hard. Story 22. I would tell my children how special and loved they are. I would let my husband know how happy he has made me all these years. I would go out with them one last time, probably to eat something nice. I would call my sister, who lives far away and has just become a mother, to say goodbye and offer as much advice as I can about motherhood. Then I would make love to my husband one last time, caress him, kiss him all over, and sleep in his arms until the end. Story 23. I would say my goodbyes, eat some edibles, and get a nice bottle of tequila. I would rob a bank or jewelry store, have my final experience, and in the last 60 seconds, jump out of a plane without a parachute over the ocean. It has been grand. Story 24. I have heard people say that when they die, they want to be addicted to fentanyl only in the last day. Story 25. I will probably have sex with my wife one more time, then drive at 150 miles per hour on the highway, drink a couple of beers when I get home, and hug my children. I will die peacefully and go out honorably. Story 26. Everyone in the comments would be too depressed and stressed to do anything other than lie down in bed. Story 27. Record messages for my children as they grow, write letters to them, call my mother and my aunt, give my husband instructions on how to handle things after I am gone, and cuddle with him and the children. Story 28. Make sure my 5-year-old knows how much I love him and play with him. I am torn between telling him I will love him forever and the scientific fact that I will be incapable of love once I am dead. One time the topic came up and he was upset by the idea that there would be a time I would not love him, so I told him I will love him even when I am dead. I think we will stick with that for now. Someday he will understand. At some point, I will probably step away and spend the last 90 minutes sending messages to my friends and family, telling those crazy diamonds to shine on, and thanks for the ride. Story 29. Rolling a couple of joints, grabbing some snacks, and going somewhere without people. The last thing I want is a bunch of fake people acting like they care all of a sudden. Story 30. Spend every second with my loved ones. No phones, no distractions. Just pure presence and goodbye hugs. Story 31. Try to find a way to get to California to see my son and grandchildren. Oh, and also smoke cigarettes. I still miss them, and they cannot hurt me now. Story 32. Not being here on Reddit answering this ridiculous question that appears every other week. Please stop and be quiet. These must be automated programs that are posting these questions because they are terrible. Automated programs are not helpful. Story 33. Call a few friends and say goodbye. Spend time with close family members. Eat a magnificent meal. Finish dessert at 5:59:59. Story 34. Just 6 hours? Not much time. So much money to spend, so little time. I would probably go around distributing money just to see people's reactions. That is probably the best value. Story 35. Divide the time and spend it with immediate family. Save an hour to speak to them together. Let my heart speak without worrying if my thoughts will be well received. Story 36. Will spend the day with my beloved family, eating and watching television together. Story 37. From this moment, I will probably go to sleep because I am tired and will not enjoy my final moments if I keep yawning all the time. Maybe before I sleep, I will eat some sweets I like since I will not be bothered by the consequences of tooth problems. Story 38. Having only 6 hours to live would definitely affect what I could do. Is it that someone is going to kill me? Or am I dying from something that cannot be cured? If I have the mobility to do what I want, that makes a huge difference. Otherwise, I would probably end up lying there dying. So if I can do things, I would grill a nice big steak and have some homemade macaroni salad or potato salad with some good whiskey. If I am going to die, I might as well enjoy a good meal and drink. Story 39. Make sure all my belongings are accessible and keys for things are available. Eat something tasty. Play a harmless prank on some people. Story 40. Lots of interaction with strangers, use of drugs, eating anything I want, and drinking. Story 41. Get my family together and have one last meal. Have a few drinks, eat good food, and try to laugh. Story 42. Tell my loved ones how grateful I am that they were a part of my life. I apologize for all the times I messed up and would like to hug each of them. Then I would take my motorcycle out for the last time. It would be the final ride for both of us. Story 43. Gather my children and best friends to boil some shrimp, drink some whiskey, and tell stories while we laugh and cry. I will probably text my former partner that I still love her. Story 44. I would walk to all of my favorite places and let myself truly indulge in nostalgia. Then I would lie down somewhere outside and let go. Story 45. I would go into a forest and contemplate death while listening to all my favorite songs. After leaving a letter for my parents and close friends, of course. I am not comfortable thinking about that situation. Story 46. Spend time with my dog. Make a list of all the things I have and who those things should be given to or donated to. Order multiple meals and desserts through food delivery services. Send an "I love you" text a minute before I die to everyone I care for. Story 47. Have sex once or twice. Eat a lot, maybe Mongolian barbecue or somewhere with good margaritas and fajitas. Make a song playlist for the final 30 minutes. Drink a couple of glasses of good whiskey. Call my mom, dad, and friends. Very short calls though. I can't give up too much of my fleeting time on that. Tell my kids how much I love them, to always be brave and confident, and to do whatever they want for the rest of their lives as long as it makes them or someone else happy. Go to the animal shelter and snuggle some kittens and puppies. Drive up to the mountains with the rest of that whiskey bottle. Find the perfect place to sit comfortably with an amazing view. Start that playlist, open the bottle, and throw away the cap. Goodbye, world. Story 48. Live for 6 hours. I honestly would not do anything different. I am happy to be content and happily content with my life. Story 49. Call family, as many as I can. Post all my art online. Say goodbye to people online. Make a video of all my unfinished projects and invite people in real life or online to finish them after I'm gone. Meet my family in person and have a long talk with them, telling them not to grieve and to be happy and successful. Film a video for my family expressing my love and sharing the same message as before but in video format. Write instructions for when I'm gone. Sell my clothes and furniture to get enough money. Eat sushi, pasta, and other unhealthy foods. Go to a hospital and sign papers allowing my organs to be donated to help people in need. Story 50. Be with my husband and my sweet cat. Call my sons to come over with their wives or girlfriends and our beautiful little granddaughter. When I was ill last fall and nearly died, I decided to write letters to each of them. I have tucked the letters away, and they will receive them when I am gone. I love them all beyond words. Story 51. I have been secretly in love with a woman for 42 years. She is happily married. I would not even need to do anything obvious. I would just want to tell her, that is all. Story 52. I would urgently try to inform my husband about how to manage all our retirement matters and give him all the passwords. I would spend every moment with him on things like that to ensure he would be okay, or as okay as possible. I would also show him affection. Story 53. I would probably pump on and off the whole time and find someone to help care for my baby. Maybe go get a new tattoo and a couple of piercings I have always wanted, and then come home and spend the rest of the time with my family. Story 54. Take the first hour to call friends and family and tell them I love them. Then order a pizza and drink wine with my wife. Hanging out on our couch with our dogs. I love that woman more than anything. Story 55. Sending messages to as many people as possible where the message says that if it is not forwarded to a certain number of people, something terrible will happen. Story 56. Video call my mother, sister, and father. I live 15,000 kilometers away. Have intimate time with my husband with lots of cuddles. Then have a large Big Mac meal in bed with him while listening to my favorite music, followed by more cuddles and just smelling him, hearing him breathe. Story 57. Okay, I would gather all my children together. They would not be allowed to fight with one another. We would have a feast day, drink perfect coffee, eat the freshest sashimi, and enjoy intricate cocktails. Then I would go to confession at a Catholic church. Finally, I would sit at the top of the hill at my favorite park and close my eyes. Story 58. I try to release and write as many songs as I can for the world and give CDs with my music to my neighbors. Story 59. Well, I am 4 hours in since this was asked, so I will check back in 2 more hours to see if you are here. Story 60. I would have a catered dinner with those I love most and just sit and talk, reminiscing about great memories, telling them how much I love them, and encouraging them individually to live their best lives. Story 61. Call my husband if he is not with me, my parents, and all my closest friends and relatives to tell them how much I love them and how much they have made my life what it is, and snuggle with my cat. Story 62. Tell my friends and family I love them and then probably get drunk as much as possible to ease myself into it. Story 63. I would walk over to my mother's place with a bottle of wine and my cat. I assume it would be chaotic around me, so I might take some pate and a baguette because I have nothing at the moment. Then we would play the Beatles because they are her favorite band, hug, and get drunk. Story 64. Do some inappropriate things, rob a bank for my children, drive a sports car very fast, tell everybody I love goodbye, and express strong anger towards those I dislike. Then do more inappropriate things before it is all over. Story 65. Handicap the late 5 at Churchill Downs and watch the races while having my favorite takeout. If my pick 5 ticket wins, donate it to North Carolina Recovery. Story 66. All my comfort moves. Snuggle my cat, hug my mother, laugh with my best friend, and sit on the porch with my partner and the dogs while the sun sets. Story 67. I would go to the park with my children and wife, order some McDonald's Happy Meals, and give my children cola and candy. Basically, everything they cannot have. Then we would play ball and tag with them. After that, we would go to the lake and swim, having fun splashing around in the water. It is a perfect day. Story 68. Call my former partners to express how difficult they were. Enjoy some expensive wine. I have been sober for 42 years. Go to the presidential suite at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel, traffic permitting. Order excellent food from the best restaurants in Los Angeles, and hire professional escorts and skilled massage therapists. I am satisfied. Also, have a room filled with puppies, toys, and a caretaker to attend to their needs. Story 69. I am going to have my final 2-hour workout at the gym, get some beer, have my final buzz, and eat a large pizza and cheesesteak while watching Super Bowl 59 for the final time in my life. That is how I want to go down. Story 70. Get very drunk with my boyfriend, try to get my hands on some hard drugs, and eat a bunch of gluten food. I would probably feel sick toward the end, but whatever, man. Forget celiac. Story 71. Transfer any money to family and document how I want my property divided among my siblings. Then I would spend the remaining time with family nearby. Story 72. Walk into a liquor store, grab some cold beer, and go to a river. Listen to music with your feet in the water. Do not whine about anything or live in regret or commit acts of vengeance. Just feel relaxed and ask God to take you with mercy. Story 73. Love on my dogs. Sit and watch my husband's shows with him while enjoying some tacos or whatever my safe food is. Story 74. Ooh, shopping in ayahuasca, but I'll tell everyone I know why I love them first and then smother my cats. Story 75. Give all my belongings away. Eat a good meal with a room full of people who love me. Have sex with my husband. Record a video last will and testament about what I hope I accomplished. Send copies of my church musings and poetry to multiple sources. Create a video blog for my foster child for her graduation, her wedding, her first child, and her next family if my husband cannot do it alone. Pray a lot and talk to God. Cuddle my pets and husband until I pass. Story 76. Just be a complete degenerate. Tell everyone I love them, and focus on self-pleasure in my final hours. Story 77. Write a letter and make a video for each of my little children for when they are older. Assume that it is only me who is dying. Story 78. It depends on my mood and where I am, as I live in different cities at different times. If I am in my home city, I would hang out with my young children, partner, and parents, perhaps eat some pizza or spaghetti, and watch some television. If I am alone in another city, which happens often because my business has offices in various countries, I would probably buy some sushi and sake and relax at the 5-star hotel where I usually stay. Story 79. Not a lot, to be honest. Probably order a bunch of food, open a bottle of whiskey, have one last moment to myself, and go out confidently like I am in Pompeii. Story 80. I would go to my parents and tell them I am sorry for causing them so much grief. The same for my brothers. Then I would go to the mountains or the countryside to get out of the city, find a quiet place where I could sit down, relax, and ascend to the afterlife. Story 81. Go find every person who was very bad to me and do not know what could happen. This is also not the time for all of them. Story 82. I have a champagne bottle chilling. Pop that open. I will probably just relax, look at old photos, kiss my cats, and go to bed. Story 83. I'd go about my day as normal around my family so they have no concerns. I'd make sure all the safe keys are in my wife's handbag and email her all our financial information. I'd kiss my daughter on her forehead and tell her goodnight, cuddle my dogs, and tell my wife during the last hour that I have to go out to help a friend with car trouble, then drive far away so she doesn't find me. I'd smoke a joint despite being 5 years sober, watch traffic or nature, or whatever is around me, and wait. Story 84. Fly first class to any destination within 4 hours of flight time. Note that it will take approximately 2 hours to reach the airport and pass through security. Story 85. Dig my grave and then go sleep in it. This way, nobody needs to waste money or time. They just backfill. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.